What's good, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Zamir from XCC Tunes. In this video, I'm going to talk about an amazing plugin which will allow you to humanize your audio track, your MIDI track, or any sample track, any track basically, by randomizing the sound. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, I'm going to go to Plugin Boutique right now, and you guys can see that currently this plugin is free until April 21. So right now it's 19th of April, so you have about 2 days left to get this plugin, so don't miss out on this amazing plugin. The actual price is about $59, and this is the intro promotion. All right, so go and grab it right now. All you have to do is just go to this link, right, add to cart, and then go to cart, check out, and this plugin will be under your account details. Okay, so I'm going to go to Cubase and I'm going to show you what this plugin can do. Let's say you have a hi-hat track, right? Okay, let me go and grab some hi-hat now. Okay, so let's say this is the track, the hi-hat sample that you've been using for your production. So now let's say you create a pattern, a very straightforward pattern. Now it's going to sound like this, right? It's very machine gun kind of effect, right? So usually what I used to do is I'll go to each of these sample and I reduce the volume like so, right? I just want to make it randomized a little bit so that I can get some kind of realistic humanized sound, right? And okay, but it doesn't help that much. The next thing that I do is I'll go and change the key. So I'll transpose it one semitone up, one semitone down, and so on, right? And I also use the fine tune like so, right? So now, okay, it's more kind of realistic, right? But I didn't change the key here. Let me just change this one. So these are a sample that I've changed the fine tune as well and transpose it. This one without fine tuning. All right. So now, okay, it will sound a bit realistic now, right? But of course the timing is now not adjusted, so I have to come here and manually adjust them. So maybe like so. It's kind of tedious, right? Right, this is more realistic now. However, there's a lot of work that I need to do for this kind of stuff. So the next thing I can do is, let me use the same sample here. And I'm gonna copy all of it right now, just and mute this one. So I'm gonna add this plugin called Randomachine. Yeah. So once you've registered this plugin, you can go here and it's gonna give you all these parameters that we can adjust then. All right. So you can adjust the pitch. You can randomize it. Okay. Right. It's more realistic sounding now. Let me increase a little bit. Yep, much better. Yep. And then you can adjust the time like so. Oh, that's too much. Let's reduce it a bit. Yeah, it's more laid back right now. Okay, you can also add Foreman. Oh, look at that. Can you hear the effect? It sounds much better. However, if you don't like it, you can turn that off. So now you only have pitch and the time. If you want to add distortion, yeah, I don't think I want to use this. You can also pan. But since this is a mono track, I believe, so I'm gonna make it stereo. Okay, I don't really hear the panning. Okay, so this is the ambience one. Let's try that. I guess this is adding reverb, so we have to be careful with this one. So let's add it. Okay, so let me duplicate this one and I'm gonna disable the plugin. Now the original without any plugin, it's gonna sound like this. No randomization happening. When I turn this on, you can see this is keep moving around. Although it's not much, there's something happening there, right? So now let me just render this one. Okay, now, oops. So this is the randomized one and this is the original one. Let me mute this guy, but I just want to show you guys the waveform here. You can see that each of these waveform is not the same anymore. It's all randomized. Each of these sample is now being adjusted accordingly. Okay, I didn't use any extreme settings here. If I use extreme settings, and it's going to look even more different, all right? Okay, they also have different trigger mode. They have transient, sync, and MIDI, right? So I'm going to use the sync now. So they have given a couple of different grid value, the rhythm value that we can choose here. So currently it's set to quarter note. Let's see. Okay, let's try and change it to 8 note. Let's try this on a chord pattern and see how does it affect the sound. So let me go. I'm going to use the same chord progression I used in the previous video. Right. Okay, now I'm going to add Randomachine. Okay, so let's use the sync and I'm going to use 8 note. Wait, so I'm sorry about that. I didn't change any of these parameters here, which is why it was the same. All right. I like that effect. That is interesting. Okay, so I don't think I will be using the sync mode. I prefer the transient. It is much better. I think for chord progression, it's better to just use the pitch or the timing. Don't use any of this format or distortion. It's going to sound a bit weird. If you want that kind of weirdness, then you can go ahead and add this, but don't add on a normal chord progression. It's going to sound really weird. Most of the time, I like to randomize my drum sounds like snap, clap, snare, hi-hat, and all those stuff. And now I can use this plugin to do things faster than before. Okay, the cool thing about this random machine is now they also have A/B settings, right? So let's say you want to test some settings. Now you can go to B and then use a different settings there, and then you can decide which of these settings that you like to use, right? And here is the bypass button, on and off. You can turn this on and off. So there's also another trigger mode, which is the MIDI. I believe this is by using another MIDI track, you know, trigger the patterns. I'm going to trigger this random machine for this sample using the MIDI track. Okay, so let's go. So I'm going to use MIDI track now to trigger the pattern of this hi-hat. All right. Sorry, not the pattern, but the random machine's settings here. So currently I set this to MIDI C-1 to trigger on and off, right? So all I have to do is now add the plugin as an insert in the sample, right? And then you create a new MIDI track and then assign that track to the hi-hat duplicate. Yeah, this one. So every time this MIDI key triggers -C1, which is this one, it's gonna trigger the pattern. So let me change this pattern to kind of extreme so that we can hear the difference better. Okay. So now the first 4 sample will not trigger this pattern. Okay. So that's how you can use these MIDI features if you don't want to have the transient detected for all the tracks, right? Okay, so I think that is really useful. Let's see if they have any presets here. Yes, they do. So MIDI chaos, let's try that. Okay, let me change this back to transient. Okay, this is MIDI chaos. I don't know why, for some reason I don't hear the panning. Okay, let me change. Yeah, it's in mono. I'm so sorry about that. Alright, now I can hear the panning. Okay, let's try another preset. Okay. Pitch chaos. So they have a lot of presets here that you can just trigger chaos, transient chaos. You can also create your own preset and save them if you prefer a certain preset. All right. So that's it for today, guys. Make sure to go and grab this plugin. This plugin is free at the moment until April 21, and it's gonna be $59 after that. So make sure to get it now since it's free. Okay. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.